and halloo! The blue-toed murder files delves once more into the mysteries of Little Riddle. I will be your narrator, and let's see how many players there are this time. Shall choose your... Welcome, O wise one, to the lovely little village of Little Riddle. However, dig below the sugar-sweet candy-pink surface, seemingly perfect rural gâteau, and you uncover the rotten, oily green meat pie beneath. The chief ingredient of this rancid banquet, murder. The librarian has become the latest victim in the insidious scheming of an as-yet unnamed criminal mastermind. She joins the mayor of Little Riddle, who was killed by the miller, who was then himself murdered. A seemingly separate incident, the burglary of stately Riddle Manor, may yet prove part of the whole. The statue-stealing thief was Moses. He is not talking to the police, and what began as a brief sojourn has become one of the most challenging investigations ever undertaken by the Blue Toad Agency. Highlight where you want. The funeral for the librarian has just begun as you arrive. We are gathered here today to remember the life of Margaret Tess Madding, and to seek understanding in the face of the bleak reality, and a universe that often seems not to acknowledge our existence. Let us pray. O great God of 1,000 faces, we who are mere... Funerals are most useful, are they not? Here you get to study the reactions of those left behind as you seek to uncover the guilty party. It seems you're not the only one to think thus.
I thought I might find you here. Listen, I'm not sure about you, and that's a fact. You might have been right in the past, but that just makes me suspicious. I want no more trouble from you, and no more interfering. All right, or I will run you out of town. Sharpish!
But in ageless eons, even death may forget about you and wander off. Go in peace, my children, while you can. Amen.
Amen.
While the inspector moves to intrude upon the grief of the mourners, you notice the vicar beckoning you to a quiet corner of the churchyard. He seems rather glad to see you. I saw you standing over there in the sacred shadows. Did you see who attended, or would you like me to identify them and tell you how they were arranged? Well, it's always better to be sure and certain. The librarian's funeral was well attended. Can you work out where everyone stood at the burial? Let's see how you did. On the button. All wrapped up already? Great heavens! With nary a hiccup. Well done. Look around you and be comforted. You are better than they. I wanted to speak to you away from that thrice-damned inspector. I want to help Moses. Something is afoot. Moses would not have done such a heinous thing as he is accused of without a serious motive. He came to me years ago after his wife died, and his son ran away. Something to do with the miller, I believe. He has lived peacefully from then until now. Only his past haunts him enough to stir up such passions. Please investigate on his behalf. But first, let us pray together in the church. I won't take no for an answer. On approaching the church, you see the vicar is struggling with the door and his burden of religious literature. There's a parable in this somewhere, only you're not sure he'd know it. Instead, you offer to help open the door. Ah, bless you, many thanks. The key is old and has come apart, and I can't work out how to put it together again. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know. The vicar's old key has broken, and he can't open the church door. Can you figure out the sequence to rebuild it? How did you do? Huzzah! You're finished. That was quick. Oh, and aren't you the smug one? No mistakes. There are no words sufficient to describe your brilliance. Most excellent. Thank you, thank you. I wanted to ask a Samaritan such as yourself, what is your denomination? There's a touch of the dark to you, and I... Oh. Fortunately, before the vicar can continue this distinctly unecumenical discourse, there's the sound of someone approaching the church.
Help to catch us sinners. Why? Ah, there you are. Top O. Got some important intel for you, what? I found out that... Mommy!
Do you think he's all right?
That block fell from the belfry.
There's not a moment to lose. Of course, this wouldn't be much of a story if you caught the suspect red-handed. And as they've probably escaped already, let's see if you've been paying attention. That clean sweep of questions puts you most resoundingly in my good book. I hope I haven't delayed you too long. I wonder what evidence awaits you in the bell tower. You rush up to the top of the bell tower, but have you been fast enough? Regardless, you've been a little too fast for the vicar. I can't. We'll come back to him in a moment. It is dark, dingy, and dreadfully dusty up here. As though confirming long-held suspicions, you discover that the vicar really does have bats in his belfry. Not to mention some worryingly large spiders. While you're here, you decide to ring the bells and alert the village to the Colonel's murder. The Colonel lies dead, and the town must be alerted. Can you follow the rules and ring the bells correctly? Let's see how you did. Ah, spot on. My, weren't you in a hurry? Ooh, no mistakes made. Show off. You deserve so much more, but this will have to do.
My goodness. I say, that was a little much. Still, everyone should have heard your alarm. Now, what is going on over here?
The puffing priest has spotted that one half of the belfry is remarkably clean. Furthermore, some of the high-pitched squeaking isn't bats, but in fact one old bat singing while she polishes a bell.
Oh, hello, dearies. Fancy meeting you up here. Gave me quite the turn, all that bell ringing. Cup of tea? I should have some around. My, oh my. Where am I?
The clearly confused Mrs. Gossip is an unlikely suspect, but still, you ask what she's up to.
Well, dearie, what with poor old Moses, that's him from here, not him from the Bible, in prison. Someone needs to do the cleaning around here. Thought I'd start at the top and work down, like she's always saying. Her from the telly, not her from the lodge. So much to do, though the doctor, lovely man, he's always telling me to take it easy at my age. Always looking out for me. Take it easy, don't fall, watch that hot kettle, not so close to the edge. Lovely man.
The doctor was here?
Doctor, dearie, up here? Where? I'm always seeing the doctor. Lovely man. He gives me pills, lots of pills. Lovely man. Not like that one by the wisteria. No, he's not here. Up here? No, hardly. Lovely man, though. Do you take sugar?
The vicar leads Mrs. Gossip back down the stairs. Something is amiss, and more than just the memory of the increasingly confustigated Mrs. Gossip. You'll need to try to question her again. The Colonel's house needs giving the once-over, and another visit to the doctor is in order. Lots to do. It seems that little is sacred, and former mourners have become concerned gawkers, perhaps as a Pavlovian reaction to the ringing of the bells. Someone is trying, however, to maintain order.
Oi, you lot! Get back now, sharpish! You're in the way of official police business.
In the way? Here we are in the middle of a murder spree that makes Hannibal Lecter look like a restaurant critic, and you say we're in the way?
You are in the way, matey. and treading on vital police evidence. Unless you're just covering up your own guilt, hmm?
Good grief, is that the time? Funny how time flies when you're having fun? Which I wasn't. Hated it. Every minute. Right, yes, got to go.
With him out of the way, the inspector angrily beckons you over.
Oi, you!
A crowd of mourners stand between you and Inspector Bragg. Can you figure out the fastest way to get to him? How did you do? Splendid! Great Scott, that was fast, and without a single error being made. Well done. Please take this moment to look as smug as possible.
You see this dead colonel here? Well, he isn't one. Or should I say, he wasn't one. I recognised him straight off as that conman, Bert the Blag. After Lady Snobbish's wealth, no doubt. I was keeping me eye on him, but it seems I won't be able to do that anymore. You keep this halt to yourself, right? And keep me posted on anything you dig up. Sharpish like.
Curiouser and curiouser. Putting this unusual Bragg effusiveness to one side for the moment, it's time to get on with your investigation. There will be times when you have to pick from an... You are hoping to find the doctor alone and are in luck. Telling him about the unfortunate colonel and about Mrs. Gossip. You ask his opinion on her mental state.
What is going on in this village? I thought it somewhere quiet and peaceful, somewhere genteel. Sorry, this has been a rather trying few days. Mrs. Gossip, yes. She's quite the nuisance, she and her sister, but also by far my best customer. I have tried to tell her to rest more, but it's an almost impossible task to get through to her. Her mental state degenerates daily. Very sad. Hardly think her capable of bumping off the old colonel, though.
You mentioned that Mrs. Gossip had thought she'd seen the doctor in the belfry.
Well, there you are, you see. The poor dear saw me at the funeral, of course, but then carried the image with her. As I say, all very sad. Terrible thing about the colonel. I was looking at some of the gravestones after the funeral, still thinking about that history book of mine. I heard the crash and came running. Too late by then, of course. Awful. Accident, perhaps? By the way, how are you? You have been very busy, I understand. Quite dogged. Quite persistent. Your own mental faculties holding up? Here, I have a little test for you. Try this.
The doctor is concerned that your recent stresses may be harming your health. Will you be able to pass his test? Click to continue. ducks. Drum roll. Aha! Correct. Gosh, you got through that one, lickety-split. You made that look easy, not an error in sight. My, aren't you terribly talented? Well done.
Most interesting. Yes. Still, nothing to worry about, I'm sure. I'll do some analysis and you can come and see me tomorrow. I'll have another test for you. Now, please, I have a great deal to do.
What was all that about? It appears you must wait until tomorrow to find out. The constable is looking more than a little distressed by the time you reach the station. In fact, he looks positively shocked.
Thank goodness. Oh, I thought you would brag. Oh, I suppose I'll have to tell him eventually. He'll just explode or something.
Knowing time is short, and the inspector is likely on his ponderously plodding way back, you dig deeper.
It's Moses. He's gone. Got out. He escaped. He must have had help. But even then, you should see the state of the wall.
Quickly, you offer your services to assist in the rebuilding of the rather old and decrepit cell wall. Moses' escape from jail has left a hole where the wall used to be. Will you be able to repair it? Eeny, meeny, miny, on the button. What, finished already? No mistakes made too, you great big swat. Olympian intelligence deserves an Olympian reward. As you were engrossed in rebuilding the crumbling wall, Watson was having a good sniff about. With his help, you work out how Moses escaped and tell the constable.
So, let me get this straight. One person knocked down the old wall, stopping that old clock at 10:05 in the process, and then took off with Moses? Oh. Well, that's something I can tell the inspector. How embarrassing.
Ah, yes, the inspector. Better if he doesn't find you here. Inside the Colonel's house, there is certainly a lot of information on Lady Snobbish and her family. But none of the naive innocence of the Colonel is in evidence. There are undoubtedly clues to be uncovered here. After mere moments, Watson uncovers a safe. This should contain something of interest. The Colonel's safe is sure to contain some information. Can you work out how to open it? Are you correct? Let's see. Huzzah! All wrapped up already? Great heavens! With nary a hiccup. Well done. Look around you and be comforted. You are better than they. In amongst the trinkets and a little money are various notes the counterfeit colonel made on his research. It becomes all too easy to picture the man at work.
Well, 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 and the little mole wraps it up. Stone the crows. I always knew the miller was really a snobbish, but I never knew he had a kid. A snobbish kid, too. Last of the line. That's one in the eye for Lady Snobbish. Throw me out, would she? Stuck-up cow. Hope her wrist goes septic. Wonder if he knows he's a snobbish. I bet he does. I wondered if he was anything to do with all them other murders. Bet he was. Tied up loose ends, I think. Keeping it all quiet. Oh, now, there's nasty. Better be careful there. Mind you, there's money here. Maybe blackmail to both of them. Oh, yeah. Oh, Bert. And a Merry Christmas to one and all.
It seems the fake colonel may have uncovered quite a conspiracy. Was it worth killing to protect? The death of the colonel has added another notch to the tally that is the little Riddle death count. And the day's investigation has taught you much. I wonder, have you properly learned the lessons of the day? Either you are the reincarnation of Sherlock Holmes, or these questions are too easy. Wonderful work, either way you look at it. A new day dawns, and your investigation gathers pace. The Doctor, Lady Snobbish, and Mrs. Gossip are all on your to-visit list. As too should be the Vicar, who might be able to help you track down Moses. You had hoped to find the vicar here, but there's no one to be found. Seeing that someone has been bravely attempting to clean up after yesterday's unpleasantness, you settle down to wait. Your meditative contemplation is interrupted by a surreptitious sound. Yes, that's the one. It seemed to come from behind the altar. Before you can reach it, however... No! The vicar brown trousers you! The clergyman with the clarion call of command draws you off to one side, rather abruptly.
So glad you're here. Blessed be. I needed your help with, the collection. Yes, with the collection.
Not at all convinced. You play along with the crazed clergyman. Despite all the death and murder in Little Riddle, the vicar seems only preoccupied by his parishioners' money. Can you help him count his loot? What will the ducks reveal? That's the one! You're finished. That was quick. Oh, and aren't you the smug one? No mistakes. There are no words sufficient to describe your brilliance.
Thank you so much for your help. Now, if you'll excuse me.
The vicar motions toward the door, but you nip around him to the altar. Behind it, half in and half out of what you presume to be an old priest hole, is Moses. The vicar quickly puts himself between you and the cowering groundskeeper. You point out that the vicar's harmless handyman robbed Snobbish Manor. Who knows what else he's capable of?
Don't you see? He has been drawn from the path by some terrible influence. He claims it is his son, but I fear a darker force. I should have locked away the books. He wasn't ready for the truths he saw.
Your mind is a whirl with a great many questions as you leave Moses in the charge of the vicar and continue your investigations. Interviews with Lady Snobbish have been prickly affairs. Revelations about the Colonel win you no additional favor when you ask if he had mentioned anything about what he had found.
I'm sure I have no idea what that charlatan might have believed he'd discovered. I did not find his company tolerable. Now we know why, of course. Breeding will out. I'm sure no one will mourn his passing. Quite frankly, good riddance. Dreadful oik. Now, you may assist me a second time, as you did before with my bees. I strained my wrist the other day and find myself somewhat indisposed. Look here.
The bees in the ladies' garden are once again causing trouble. Can you help her find out where they are located?
Now,
What will the ducks reveal?
Ha! Correct! My, weren't you in a hurry? Hoo! No mistakes made. Show off. You deserve so much more, but this will have to do.
So simple. Now, if that will be all,
You once again produce the picture of past Snobbish Manor residents. Can she shed any light on the identities of the individuals in the newspaper clipping the agency sent you a while ago?
that is my late husband's grandfather. I married into the family, you see, which is why there's no family resemblance. Now, I simply must escape.
You push one last question. The Colonel had mentioned another one. Were there any other snobbish family members?
Such impertinence! No, there are not. My husband... Leave. Now, please be so kind as to not return. I do not wish to have to engage the services of that unpleasant inspector to insist on my behalf.
Well, that appears to be an end to that, though not to your investigation. It is with a degree of trepidation that you once again enter the doily-covered world of Mrs. Gossip. You ask about the previous day, only to have your worst fears confirmed.
I was just saying that I don't remember much about yesterday. My memory isn't what it was. Something about the Colonel. That's the one with the one who... Would you like a biscuit, dearie? They're on the freshwater cods.
Mrs. Gossip appears more senile every day, and has even started referring to her furniture by strange names. Can you make any sense of what she means? If you click the mouse, the game... And your result is... spot on! Great Scott, that was fast, and without a single error being made. Well done. Please take this moment to look as smug as possible. You're about to make your excuses when you remember the photograph you discovered at the windmill some time ago. You show it to her again, hoping beyond hope that she might remember something.
Oh, now, wherever did you find that, dearie? My, that's Mrs. Wentworth. Lovely woman. Very sad. Oh, and that's little Charlie, their son. Well, her son. Bless, such a serious little boy. Not like him up the road by the tailor, not the one by the allotments. Although he was a handful at times. She was married to Moses. That's the one at the church. Oh, that didn't go well. She had a bit of a roving eye, you know. Roved onto the miller for quite a while. Oh, now there I am. That reminds me.
The information is excellent, but the price is another hour at Mrs. Gossip's. There is something bubbling away at the back of your mind now. However, it will have to simmer a while yet. Your investigation must continue. The doctor had said he wanted to conduct another little test today. Frankly, you're not sure what he's on about, but the morning's work is leaving you with something of a headache. Perhaps the doctor can help.
I've been analyzing your first test, but I need a comparison. Please indulge me.
The doctor has another test with which to assess the state of your mental faculties. Can you work out the puzzle he has set for you? Eeny, meeny, miny. That's the one. Gosh, you got through that one, lickety-split. You made that look easy, not an error in sight. My, aren't you terribly talented? Well done.
Gracious. Well, I'd never imagined I'd get such clear results from the second test. You do understand that for someone of your profession, of your supposed caliber, that really was distinctly below par. It's understandable, really, the pressure you're under at the moment. Exhaustion is inevitable. Here, I would like to help. Take these pills. Take 2 before bed. In the morning, you should wake up feeling entirely rested. Any problems, come back and see me tomorrow. Not in the morning, though. I have an appointment with Lady Snobbish. Good day now.
It seems at least one person in Little Riddle understands the mental strain your calling can impose. You offer your thanks and depart. With all the suspects interviewed, have you learned what you need? Before you retire to your room, I want to see if you've been paying attention. Let's see if you can answer these questions. Fantastic work! Your keen eye and attention to detail will serve you well. Weary of both my questions and the case as a whole, you decide to return to the hotel and get some rest. It has been an exhausting day. You return to your hotel room, and after a light meal, you retire early to bed. Though you are weary beyond words, your mind will not let you rest. Haunting images of the unavenged dead and snatches of conversations whirl and eddy in the confused currents of your consciousness.
The miller was really a snobbish.
Oh, and that's little Charlie.
A snobbish kid, too. Last of the line.
You remember the pills the doctor gave you. Taking them, you lie down once again. This time, sleep takes you. It is not a peaceful rest, however. Your detective instincts believe that your subconscious is trying to tell you something. Can you make sense of the nonsense?
What? No!
And your result is... correct you are. What, finished already? No mistakes made too, you great big swat. Olympian intelligence deserves an Olympian reward. You wake suddenly, the gift of revelation slipping from your grasp as a fog descends. You feel detached, removed, distant from reality. Sheer effort of will pushes past your morning malaise, and you remember the dream.
Wonder how much this would be worth to her to keep me quiet.
Their son. Well, her son.
I wonders if he was anything to do with all them other murders.
Would you like a biscuit, dearie?
Adrenaline surges, your intellect awakens, the last piece drops into place, revealing the truth where once there was only a fractured image. To the police station! Bursting into the police station, a little disheveled after your disturbed night, you are nonetheless determined to pass on the benefit of your nocturnal deductions. Go on then, convince me.
Again?
Of the four suspects, Mrs. Gossip was clearly the least likely. Could someone so frail move the block that killed the Colonel? Or is Mrs. Gossip's mental frailty just an act? The old dear mentioned the doctor when caught at the scene of the crime. Was he even there? If he was, what motive had he for the murder? Is it likely He was on Bert the Blag's blackmail list. Lady Snobbish certainly had motive. After all, Bert the Blag was after her money, perhaps even blackmailing her. Can she be linked to the crime scene and to the method of dispatch? Moses was freed from his cell thanks to the vicar and a crumbling town jail. Was this in time to murder the Colonel? 4 suspects and a wealth of evidence that points to but one of them. Can you deduce the culprit and prove yourself worthy of your role as a blue-toed detective? Player 1, you get to choose first. In the end, the final piece of this puzzle came in a dream. Together with all the other evidence, it confirms the guilt of the Doctor. The murder took place at 10 o'clock. Moses did not escape until 5 minutes past the fatal hour. Mrs. Gossip and Lady Snobbish can be dismissed by the frailty of both. Mrs. Gossip through simple age, and Lady Snobbish because of her injured wrist. Neither could have moved the block of stone. Only the Doctor had no strong alibi.
I'm sorry, but just having no alibi ain't good enough. What was his motive?
You tell the inspector everything you have found out about the Doctor's true ancestry, and the fact that the Colonel had uncovered the same information.
Hold on. Let me get this right. You're saying that he's a snobbish and he killed Bert the Blag because Bert found out and tried to blackmail him?
You tell him yes, that is the case, and that Bert the Blag had also worked out that the Doctor was tied in with the other murders and wrongdoings in Little Riddle. The inspector seems less than sure, however.
This is all a bit slight, I have to say. However, you've been right in the past. Let's bring the Doctor in and ask him a few questions. See how he reacts. The constable should be here in a minute.
Well,
What's up with you?
you have indeed gone a whiter shade of pale as you abruptly recall the Doctor's last words to you yesterday.
Not in the morning, though. I have an appointment with Lady Snobbish.
He clearly intends to claim his snobbish legacy by any means possible. Convincing the inspector of the lady's peril, you rush to the manor. There isn't a moment to lose. You used your talents to select the correct suspect. Many congratulations on a job well done. You burst into the manor.
Your ladyship!
Great heavens! Inspector, explain yourself. This instant.
Sorry, Mum. We heard you scream.
I appear to have cold equipment this morning. My stethoscope, you see. Just what do you think you're doing, Inspector?
Nothing, Mum. Sorry, Mum. I'll just be going. It won't happen again. I can assure you of that.
Inspector, I got your message.
What? Constable, I believe we have a spare cell at the moment. It will be occupied for the rest of today by this. I'm not in the habit of being made a fool of. You'll get out of my sight, sharpish!
Well, that didn't go entirely according to plan, did it? Even as you languish in a police cell, the perpetrator of the foul deeds that have rocked Little Riddle to its very foundations walks abroad. What mischief, what mayhem, what fiendish felonies can he commit before you are freed? Will justice be done and the Blue Toad Agency file on Little Riddle closed? Or will evil prevail while you rot in prison? Find out when you return in The Riddles of the Past. So, how well did you do in that episode? Player 1. Wonderful work